This will sound very strange, but the actor Harrison Ford is known for his aviation mishaps. God is using Harrison Ford and his acting career, which is filled with him in roles of a pilot. And he is known for his aviation hobby, and he is a spokesman for the aviation community. And he narrated the IMAX movie Living in the Age of Airplanes. And in terms of prophetic signs, Harrison Ford's aviation mishaps serve as a witness, which is why Harrison Ford was nominated for an Oscar award for his role in the movie Witness, because God has used Harrison Ford as a witness to point to the death of Kamala Harris in a plane crash on the date June 7th, which is 6/7. This includes, for example, a movie named 6 Days, 7 Nights, in which Harrison Ford actually flew the plane. It is actually Harrison Ford flying the plane in the scenes in this movie. The plot of this movie centers around a plane crash, and Harrison Ford's character's name is Harris. The title of the movie, 6 Days, 7 Nights, hints at the date 6/7. Kamala Harris's plane will crash on the date 6/7. And Harrison Ford's aviation mishaps are a prophecy that is predicting that Kamala Harris will die in a plane crash that will be caused due to a bird strike on precisely November 3rd, 2022. After Harris's death, she will be replaced by Michelle Obama, and soon after, Barack Obama will replace Michelle. This is the reason why Kamala Harris will die in a plane crash. It seems that God is pointing to the date December 13th, 2022 as the day that Michelle Obama will become the president. The date that this video is posted proves that this prediction was made ahead of time, as does this timestamped email and forensic notes PDF. If you are skeptical, please email me and I will forward these to you. It has been known since the autumn of 2020 that she will die in a plane crash. But as can be seen here in this email, it was known since August of 2021 that God was pointing to the date January 14th, 2022 in regards to Harris's death in a plane crash. The majority of this video was produced before January 14th, 2022. Prior to January 14th, 2022, the Lord was pointing to this date with an overwhelming amount of evidence through connections to other signs that involved symbolism for the death of Kamala Harris in a plane crash, which is why prior to January 14th, 2022, it was assumed that this would be the day that Kamala Harris would die in a plane crash due to a bird strike. However, instead, it turned out that January 14th, 2022 was a day of prophetic signs that confirmed all of the analysis of the signs and connections that were pointing to January 14th in regards to the death of Kamala Harris in a plane crash. It turned out that January 14th was another important step in the trail of signs that is ultimately leading to the day that Kamala Harris will die in a plane crash. Prior to January 14th, 2022, I had learned that God was also pointing to June 7th. One reason being is that it is 144 days after January 14th. I knew that if January 14th were not to be the day that Harris would die in a plane crash, then it would be expected that there would be a prophetic sign involving the number 144 on January 14th. Sure enough, we received an amazing prophetic sign involving the number 144 on January 14th, as was expected in advance. This prophetic sign involved 144 horses. The explanation of this prophetic sign, other signs that occurred on January 14th, and many, many other extremely profound things are explained in the must-watch American Pharaoh prophecy video. The American Pharaoh prophecy video should be watched before watching any of the other videos that are predicting Harris's death in a plane crash. I recommend pausing this video here and watching the American Pharaoh prophecy video, and then returning to this video. The number 144 is prophetic because of the prophetic number 144,000 in the book of Revelation in the Bible. The prophetic sign on January 14th involving 144 horses confirmed adding 144 days to reach June 7th, and the relevant prophetic signs that occurred on that day, including an announcement from Kamala Harris, the 49th Vice President, regarding America's border wall of security. In the book of Joshua in the Bible, the Hebrews marched around the walls of security of the ancient city of Jericho for 7 days before they collapsed in God's judgment. Right before the walls collapsed, 7 Hebrew priests blew 7 trumpets that were made from horns of bighorn sheep. This is symbolism for 7 times 7 equals 49. June 7th was the 7th day after park rangers at Joshua Tree National Park closed its 49 Palms hiking trail in order to provide bighorn sheep access to water. The hiking trail is symbolism for the Hebrews' march around Jericho, and June 7th was the 7th day of its closure, which symbolized the 7 days that the Hebrews marched around Jericho in the book of Joshua. This trail, named 49 Palms, is near Los Angeles, the hometown of Kamala Harris, the 49th Vice President. 7 times 7 days, which is 49 days, after June 7th, was the day of the closure of the I-70 highway and 70 rescues by firefighters in the extremely prophetic, historic, and destructive flooding in St. Louis that pointed to the 70-mile-wide path of totality of the Great American Eclipse that passed over St. Louis and peaked right near St. Louis and ran parallel with the I-70 highway. This flooding in St. Louis on July 26th is in turn 100 days, which is the equivalent of 144,000 minutes before the date it is predicted that Kamala Harris will die in a plane crash on November 3rd, 2022. But there is much more to this explanation, along with many other amazing things that are explained in the January 6 committee hearing prophecy video. The reason the number 144,000 is prophetic is because of the description in the book of Revelation involving 12 times 12,000. On the same day as the prophetic flooding in St. Louis, a sudden windstorm caused Class A damage, meaning 2.5 million or more in damages, to several Navy helicopters at a base in Virginia. The prophetic significance of these helicopters is explained in the must-watch NASA Mars helicopter videos on this channel. A main aspect of the news story on this incident states that the National Weather Service issued a severe thunderstorm alert at 3:30 p.m., with a warning of winds of more than 60 miles per hour. According to the damage assessment, the high winds hit the Navy base at 3:42 p.m., 12 minutes after the initial warning. When given enough time, aircraft in the path of bad weather are taken into their hangars or tied down. However, the storm came at a time when aviation maintainers are usually in the midst of a shift change. Most of the personnel were indoors and had limited time to bring the aircraft in the hangars. In other words, the timing of the storm couldn't have been worse, and this 12 minutes warning was key. This prophetic 12 minutes warning is why this incident is a warning from God that 12 times 12,000 minutes after this will be the day that U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris will die in a plane crash. Some social media sites have a maximum length for videos that can be posted, and so I need to cut this video into 2 parts. Click on the link to watch the remainder of this video. You can also find this link in the description box below this video. Make sure you watch the remainder of this extremely important video that is posted on a different channel than the one you are watching now. The link to the rest of this video is in the description box below this video. Hopefully you at least found this introduction video to be interesting, and if so, please leave a like and upvote the video, and please consider sharing the video.